Hi guys, as you can see, I'm editing the video which you clicked on, and this video is about Dyson and Parvin Pro, but I had a huge fail. I have no sound whatsoever in this video, so I'm here to tell you that I'm still gonna edit and do the video for Dyson and Parvin. I'm gonna do a voiceover, so I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be a little bit funky and not as high quality as I usually try to do, but I have to roll with this. Dealing with my perfectionism and still trying to make this video interesting and still make it good, because it is a pretty good video. So I'm sorry for that. I still hope you're gonna enjoy this video, and let's get into it. So you want shiny, sleek, straight hair without all the stress, heat damage, or spending 500 euros on one tool. Yeah, same. And since I'm clearly on a mission to test every hair tool that promised the perfect blowout look, today I'm putting the Dyson Airstrait against a 200 euros dupe, the Parvin Pro. I've used Dyson for over a year, I love it, I'm a big fan, but I've always wondered, can you get the same results for less? And what I found might honestly surprise, because only one of these tools are staying in my routine, so let's get into that. I've been using my Dyson for 1.5 years, and if you want to learn more and see a deep dive, I have 2 videos on this topic, you can have a look later. But I always wondered if you can have a same result as Dyson with other tool for less. Okay, so let's unpack this Parvin Pro tool. I have not opened it, or I haven't tried it, so it's gonna be really first impressions what you see. First of all, I have to say I like the package, it's nice, and you have instructions, and basically it's the same instructions as Dyson shows you, and you can get from wet hair to straight hair in one step. Okay, let's open it up. And first we see this nice bag, which I actually really appreciate, because Dyson does not do that, and I think for 500 euros tool they could have included the case. So I do like that. Really sleek, minimal, and yeah, I think it's just nice to use for travel and keep your tool in one place. So I really appreciate that. Okay, let's open it up and see the tool. As you can see, it basically looks the same as Dyson. I have to say the material here is tiny bit less quality, or let's say it's just different quality, but everything is done pretty well. You also have this button to open it up, same as on Dyson, and you have buttons to control your tool. What you can notice that Parvin does not have a screen as Dyson has. I have to say it's nice to have a screen, but it's not a must. You can totally deal without a screen. And what I really love is the plug. It's a normal plug, because let me show you, this huge plug Dyson has is just enormous, and I have a suspicion this is what makes it powerful, but it's really big and bulky, especially if you want to travel with. So I do love the usual plug Parvin has. And you also get a little brush with Parvin, which is nice. Okay, if only I can remember what I was saying here. Let's see. I think I was comparing the tools and just showing how Parvin is done. It's basically the same. You have the airflow, you don't have a hot plate. It's done completely similar to Dyson. And size-wise, they are quite similar. I have to say Parvin is a little bit bigger, longer, and a bit chunkier. Maybe weight-wise is also feels a little bit heavier, but the difference is pretty minimal. They really look super similar. Okay, now both of these tools are wet to dry hair. This is why I purchased my Dyson on the first place, and you can see this is my natural hair, my natural state, and it's quite wavy, a bit messy, which I don't really like, hence I bought Dyson. So here is the wet hair. As you can see, yes, I look hilarious, I know. And first thing I do is always section my hair. As I told you, we're gonna do my left side with Dyson and my right side with Parvin to see the difference. And I'm also gonna time it, so let's see. And I'm not gonna use any product for the demonstration purposes. I only gonna use the heat protectant. This is my favorite from Redken. Okay, done, nice. And I always brush my hair as well. I use my Tingle teaser, which I had for like 10 years, and again section the hair because that's the key to good styled hair. Now I will start with Dyson because I know it's a little bit faster and you can see its performance. I'm going with the wet settings. Always start with the roots because yes, you can't really dry roots super close to Dyson, and this is how they recommend you to style your hair. Roots first and then you go to the length. Here we go, the first swipe, and I'm also gonna time how long it takes me to do the one part with Dyson and another part with Parvin so that we can compare. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna really speed up the process of me drying the hair. As you can see, it's quite fast and pretty straightforward. Now let's do the second part of my hair, and as you can see, I also gonna just straighten my front parts. I do like to put rollers there, but for this video we're not gonna do that. If you're interested how I curl my hair with Dyson, have a look on my other video. Here we go, I basically done, and you can see the results a little bit closer up here. And now it's time to check Parvin, and yes, I love this usual plug, it's really nice. Also has a little cold extension kind of thingy, which is nice. Okay, now to Parvin. So we have a usual button, same as Dyson, so you can dry your roots with this. And then we have 3 buttons. One is for the power of the fan, one is for the heat, one is switch on and off, and yes, it is loud. I have to say it's more loud than Dyson. And you have 3 fan settings, but to be honest, I feel that you're only gonna use the highest one. Like, I don't really get why they did 3, because no one gonna go around and use them. And you don't have a cold shot, which I personally do not like. So yes, but functional wise, Parvin does not has as much to offer as Dyson. Okay, now let's see the performance. So I did the same, the heat protector, now brushing my hair. And we're gonna also divide my hair in the same way I did with Dyson. Now I'm also gonna time it, and let's go. So first swipe, basically I'm using the same technique as I did with Dyson. First it was the roots, and now I'm going for the length. And what I noticed is that it takes a little bit more swipes to actually get your hair dry. So yes, I do feel it's less powerful than Dyson. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna take me a little bit more time to dry my hair than with Dyson. But again, it really depends if this 2, 3, 5 minutes really make a huge difference. I can see that actually the result you get is pretty good. They are straight, nice, it's relatively easy to use. It's a little bit bigger than Dyson, but also maybe I just used to Dyson, so it feels a little bit off. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna feel this way after use it for several months. Otherwise, it's slight, it doesn't tangle your hair, and yeah, it does the job pretty well. What I just realized that you actually don't see on a tool the temperature you are using. So I was curious and I checked the box and the material you have inside to see how hot the tool is actually get, and I have not found this information. So that's something very bad in my opinion, because if you care about the damage for your hair, the heat is important to know. In Dyson you have 3 settings and you can take control over the heat damage on your hair. Unfortunately with Parvin I did not find this information anywhere, which I personally don't like. So if you care about your hair damage and if you wanna know how hot it actually gets, then yeah, maybe not. And another interesting thing that in instruction I actually have not found that you can use Parvin on dry hair. This is a huge difference between Dyson and Parvin, because Dyson you can have 2 settings, from wet hair and for dry hair. In Parvin, that's not the case, so it's up to you. If you follow the instruction, you can only use it for wet hair, which obviously eliminates lots of your styling options. Okay, but let's finish this part of my hair so I finally have all hair dried and straight. Okay, I think I'm almost done, and I have to say that performance-wise it does the job well. It does take you a little bit longer because it's not as powerful, but it does the job, and look, my hair is actually quite straight. The thing which I totally don't like that it does not have a cold shot, so you can't really finish your hair with cold shot if that's what you like. I do like to do it because it sets your hair and allows you to have your style for longer. But here's the result. Let me know what you think, which one do you like more. I feel like you can see that my right part of hair, which I did with Parvin, has more frizz, and I think that's because it's not powerful enough in a moment, and it does not, and I didn't finish it with the cold shot as I did with Dyson. But if you struggle with frizzy hair and want it to look more sleek, I have two products for you which you can still do. And first of all is using oil, because the oil just makes it your hair a little bit heavier, hence eliminates the frizz, and also good for your hair. And the second product which I would recommend is this hair gloss. I just bought to try it from L'Oreal. It was like $7 or so, and I actually found it quite nice. It's more of a treatment, it's not a styling product per se, but I do like it to use for a little bit more shine and less frizz for sure. Okay, here's the final result. Two parts. For me, it looks quite similar. I still think that Dyson looks a little bit more sleek and less frizz, probably due to the cold shot, and this part looks a little bit more messy and a little bit more frizz. But to be honest, it's not a very big difference, but I'm curious to see your opinion. Tell me in the comments, do you think that's a drastic difference, or is Parvin actually did a pretty good job? So a little short comparison between these tools. I'm still a fan of Dyson. Yes, it's expensive, but it offers you a good performance and lots of functions and control over your hair and less heat damage. Parvin does the job it says on the box. It does make your hair from wet to straight in one step in about 10 minutes or so. So yes, the tool works, but yes, it has limited functions. I do like my cold shot, and I do like to see my temperature, even if this temperature is not on a screen or so. So my conclusion would be that if you know you're not gonna spend 500 euros on a hair tool, because let's be honest, it's super expensive, then Parvin is pretty good choice, probably one of the best on the markets I saw so far, and it is 200 euros. I wouldn't say it's super cheap, but it's also not as expensive as Dyson. So if you really know that you need a tool which gonna dry your hair from wet and straighten it at the same time, I think it's worth to consider. But just know there is some minuses which you're not gonna get in Dyson, but you pay less, but you pay just half of the price of Dyson. So yeah, here's my results. Let me know what you think. Is it worth it or no? Let me know if you know any other tools you want me to review. And I hope you still enjoy this video, even with the voiceover and me acting a little bit weird on the picture. So I hope it wasn't super destructive. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next fashion videos. Bye!